This is the Santa stuck in a chimney hat. For this one, you can see we're using quite a few balloons. I've got two red 260s, each with about 2-inch tail uninflated. Again, because the black doesn't show up in the gray, we'll be having gray boots on Santa, so I've got a gray 260 with about 4 or 5 inches uninflated on it. I've got a white 260 with about 5 or 6 inches uninflated, and then 4 light brown 260s. These happen to be Battletex Fashion Toffee, each with about 5 inches uninflated on them. We're going to set those aside. What we want to do is we're going to start with our 2 reds, and you want to turn them. Trim that, I don't like that on there. You want to turn them so that you've got the 2 nozzles here. They're facing opposite of each other because we're going to make a basic hat. So you'll take and just spread that apart and measure the person's head, however big the person's head's going to be. We're going to assume it's that big. And then you come out and about 1 inch in from this nozzle, twist that and overlap it once to lock it in place. Then you go out to the other side. You heard a strange sound. That was me hitting the microphone with the balloon, so don't worry about it. It's not an earthquake. Do the same thing. So there's your basic hat, and we're going to bring these 2 reds up to the middle. And you want to leave plenty of excess up here for Santa's legs. We're going to take and cross them over, lock them together, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and at the base of each one I'm going to make about a 1/2 inch bubble, make that a pinch twist, and do the same on the other side with the other one, 1/2 inch bubble, make that a pinch twist, so that they're locked in place, and now they're going to stay sticking up like that. Now we're going to set that aside for the moment. What this is going to be, by the way, obviously there's a hat and these are going to be Santa's legs. Now we've got to make the chimney, and we'll make his boots after we make the chimney. So we're going to take our 4 light browns, and what you want to do to start with, on each one, come in and make about a 3-inch bubble, then a 1/2 inch bubble, and make that a pinch twist. And we're going to do that with all 3 of them. We want them to be about the same, we want it even, so you don't get a lopsided chimney. Repeat that process with all 4 of them. And I'm just measuring to make sure they're even. Okay, now once we have all 4, what you want to do is take the nozzle of one and attach it to the pinch twist of the second. Just twist it in there. And repeat that until you form a square by attaching each of the nozzles to the pinch twist of the next balloon. Just like that. When you get the 4th one attached, go back to your first one and do the same thing. Now, we're going to do a really simple basic weave. What you want to do is make just a very small, less than a 1/2 inch bubble. This bubble needs to be less than the diameter of one of these balloons. And on each of those, we're going to make a small bubble followed by a pinch twist. So you make a little small bubble, another bubble, and the second bubble is your pinch twist. So we're going to repeat that all the way around. I find it's easier to do these first and then come back and twist them in, help keep track of them. Now once you've got each of those, this will be our first layer. We're going to bring the tail of this one across. We want a bubble the same size as this one here, and then twist into that pinch twist. And then take that next balloon and repeat the process, make a bubble, twist it into the next pinch twist, and just work your way all the way around, doing a very basic weave, just like that, until you get back to your 4th one. And then we're just going to repeat this process again. So make a little small bubble, your 1/2 inch bubble, and do that for each of the 4 balloons again. And then repeat the weave again. Now I've seen some that'll make Santa's chimney hat like this, and they'll do a flat weave up on the top, which granted is faster, but chimneys are square. And if you have the time to do this way, I just like the look of this better. Personal preference. If I'm working for speed, then I may do the flat weave to speed things up. And repeat that process until you get either run out of balloons, if you want to go that far, or however many layers you want to do. I'm going to do 4 layers. Just like that. If you want it tall enough to give a decent looking chimney up there. Once you've got all 4 of those, I could actually go a 5th layer. I've got enough balloons left to do that, but we're not going to, so we're going to pop all these excess pieces off and secure them in there. Just like that. And there's our basic little chimney. Now what we want to do is we're going to bring our hat back over, take the 2 2/60s that are sticking up, and you can see that I made that just by going about 3 inches or so. It just snugly fits up in there so that you can slide that down on there. Now what you want to do is you're going to look and see how long you want Santa's legs sticking up above the chimney. If you go too long, you might want to add an E in there. I just like to bring them where they're just a couple inches up above it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop that, but I'm going to hang on to that. I haven't tied it yet because I'm going to bring my gray over here and save myself a knot by just tying the gray to the end of that red. That way I've done in one step. Attached my gray, which would normally be black, but again with a black backdrop. But I've attached it and tied off my red at the same time. Then I'm going to make about a 1/2 inch bubble and make that a pinch twist for making. Oh, wait a minute. Let me back up. I'm making the wrong boot here. I'm thinking of something else. Make about 1.5 inch to 2 inch bubble. Then make your little 1/2 inch bubble. Make that a pinch twist. And we're going to make a little small fold twist, just slightly big enough that it's not a pinch. See what kind of fold? That's just the heel of the boot. And then the front of the boot will make a little bit longer. So about a 3 to 4 inch bubble for a fold twist there. Now what I want to do is this is where it gets a little tricky. I'm going to remove this excess gray, but I want to keep this inflated. I'm going to have to go ahead and tie this off. Save that. And then secure the loose end of this first gray. And there's the beginning of Santa's first boot. Now just like we did before for our other red, make sure his legs are the same size. Pop off the excess, but don't tie it. I'm going to bring my gray in and tie it to it. Securing that one. And then we're just going to make another boot just like the first one. So there's our 1.5 inch bubble, our first pinch twist, our fold twist, it's almost a pinch, and then our second fold twist. Any excess you have on this one, I'll pop it off. And you can see it's starting to take shape. Now we're going to take our white, and what we want to do with it, we want 2 pieces that are just long enough to wrap around. And you've got 2 options here. What you do is measure. See how I measure that so that it just comes around and meets there. And I want it kind of snug so it'll hold that boot up. And once I've measured that point, I'm going to take and make a small 1/2 inch bubble. Make that into a pinch twist, and I'm going to remove this excess, keeping it inflated because Santa has 2 boots. Secure this end. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this boot topper, wrap it around, and then wrap that nozzle around that pinch twist we just created. Secure that in place. See how that's made in one boot. Now we're just going to repeat the process for the other boot. around, make your pinch twist, remove the excess, secure that, and then just wrap it around his boot again. And sometimes that pinch twist will come undone, so we'll just put that back in place there. And then make sure you turn it so both your boots are the same way. And there's a Santa and a chimney head, and you can take the chimney and turn it where it faces straight forward. And there you go, Santa stuck in the chimney.